I slammed the carved turkey leg onto my mother's antique china platter like it was a gavel in a courtroom, the thud echoing louder than the whispers that had been building all night. Still single. Huh? Delilah? Must be that chip on your shoulder bigger than this bird, my sister Vanessa sneered, her Botox-smooth face twisting into that fake-caring pout she reserved for family gatherings. And right there, in front of Mom, Dad, and the aunts who'd flown in from Ohio, I leaned forward and said, "Funny you mention chips, Van, because the one you buried me under 10 years ago is finally cracking open. And guess what? I'm not the only one who's been rotting underneath." That Thanksgiving in our family's creaky old colonial in suburban Boston, the air smelled like sage stuffing and simmering resentment, the kind that festers in New England winters. It was 2025, and I'd driven 3 hours from my cramped Cambridge apartment, telling myself it was for Mom's sake. Her cancer scare last summer had us all playing nice. Or, at least pretending. But Vanessa? She was the queen of pretense. Married to that hedge fund douchebag, Todd, with their 2 perfect kids and a McMansion in Wellesley that screamed, "I won at life." Me? Delilah Harper, 32. Freelance graphic designer scraping by on gigs for indie bands and startups. Single as a Pringle because, well, who has time for dating when you're still untangling the noose your sister tied around your neck a decade ago? We'd grown up sharing a room in that house. Bunk beds and secrets. Vanessa the golden girl 2 years older. Me the tag-along with the wild curls and sharper tongue. She was prom queen. I was the art kid doodling her speeches on napkins. But college changed everything, or rather, one night did. It was freshman year at Boston University for me, junior for her at Harvard. She was pre-law, dating frat boys, living that crimson letter life. I was buried in studio classes, crashing on friends' couches after late-night prints. Then came the party at some off-campus loft in Allston, the kind where kegs flow like the Charles and regrets pile up like empty cups. Vanessa dragged me there, said it was networking for my portfolio. I was 19, wide-eyed, nursing a warm PBR while she flirted with a guy named Marcus, tall, tattooed, with eyes like smoked quartz and a smile that promised trouble. He was a grad student in finance, older, the type who quoted Ayn Rand between shots. By midnight, she was whispering in his ear, and I was the third wolf fading into the graffiti walls. But when she vanished upstairs with him, I didn't leave. Stupid, loyal me waited, scrolling my flip phone until the battery died. Hours later, she stumbled down, dress askew, mascara rivers down her cheeks. "Dell. Oh God. Dell," she sobbed, collapsing into my lap. I don't know. He was rough, and I said stop, but her words trailed into hiccups. Panic clawed my gut. This was assault, my big sister, unbreakable Vanessa, broken. We stumbled out into the November chill, her arms slung over my shoulders, and I hailed a cab back to her dorm. There, under the harsh fluorescence, she spilled it. Marcus had pushed too far. Ignore her nose. Left bruises blooming like ugly secrets under her skirt. I held her that night, promising we'd go to the cops, the dean, anyone. But morning brought clarity and calculation. Vanessa sat up, eyes hardening like frost on the window. No police. They'll. Think about it. Daddy's running for selectman next year. The scandal? It'd kill him. And me, Harvard waitlist is brutal. One whiff of this, and I'm done. She gripped my hands, Nails digging half moons. You get it, right? We fixed this quiet. You were there too. Say you were the one with him. I'll back you up. We'll say it was consensual gone wrong. But no, better. Say nothing happened. Just take the hit. Pretend you hooked up. No big deal. It'll blow over. I stared, the room spinning. Take the hit? For her? Van. That's lying to everyone. To Mom and Dad. She cut me off. Voice steel. You're the nobody artist. I'm the future. Please. Delilah. Sisters. That word, sisters, hooked me like a fish on a line. So I did it. Nodded. Swallowed the bile. Over the next weeks, whispers spread. Little Delilah got wasted. Shacked up with some older guy. Friends side-eyed me. Professors raised brows at my distraction. Vanessa? She aced finals. Landed that internship at a white shoe firm. All while shooting me pitying glances in the dining hall. I buried it deep. That fracture. Told myself it was love. Protection. Graduated with a BFA that felt like fool's gold. Moved to a studio in Somerville where the tea rumbled like my unresolved rage. Dates fizzled because trust? That died in Alston. Jobs came and went, ad agencies that chewed up creatives like gum. Vanessa? She lawyered up. Married Todd in a Cape Cod wedding I smiled through. Teeth gritted under the hydrangeas. Became a prosecutor in Middlesex County, putting away lowlifes while her own skeleton rattled in my closet. Fast forward to now. That Thanksgiving table. The aunts were passing the cranberry sauce. Dad droning about the Patriots' slim playoff chances. Mom's wig slightly askew from the chemo fatigue she hid behind forced laughs. Vanessa, in her cashmere sweater and pearls, leaned back with a glass of Napa Cab. Her twins, 8-year-old hellions, smearing gravy on the linens. Todd was on his phone, probably shorting some stock. And me, across from her, fork midway to my mouth when she dropped the bomb. Delilah. Honey, she cooed. Loud enough for the room. You know, at your age. I was already planning the nursery. Still single? It's not too late to swipe right, or whatever you kids do. Just. Don't wait forever. Clocks ticking. The table tittered, obligatory family chuckle at the spinster joke. But her eyes? They gleamed with that old victory. The one she'd stolen from me. Something snapped. Not with a crack, but a slow, seismic shift. 10 years of silence. Of me carrying her shame like an invisible backpack. And here she was, mocking the wreckage she'd wrought. I set my fork down, the clink like a chambered round. Oh, Van, I said, voice honey over gravel. The clock? Mine stopped the night you made me your scapegoat. Remember Alston? That loft party? Marcus. Her face strained, the cab sloshing as her hand trembled. The room went tomb still, forks hovering. Mom's eyes widened behind her bifocals. Delilah. What on earth? But I wasn't done. Leaning in, I locked eyes with her. You begged me to lie, to say it was me who hooked up with him. So your precious Harvard record stayed spotless. I did it. Cease. Carried your assault like it was my bad hookup. While you climbed law degree. Todd. The house with the pool, I rotted in the fallout. Dates ghosted me because wild child Delilah. Jobs? Unreliable. All because I protected you. Vanessa's mouth opened. Closed. A fish on dry land. That's not, Del. You promised. Promised? I laughed.
Bitter as burnt pie crust.
You twisted sisterhood into a gag order. But guess what, Marcus? I found him last month. Googled his smug ass. Turns out he's CFO at some VC firm in the seaport. And he remembers. Feisty art girl who cried wolf. He called it in an email. But I dug deeper.
Fun.
Turns out, you're not the only one with secrets. Her eyes bulged. The pearls suddenly too tight. The aunts gasped. Dad's face purpled like overcooked beets. That was the hook. The first reel-in. But the real unraveling? It started the next morning, when I slipped her my phone. Screen lit with Marcus's forwarded confession and the anonymous tip I'd sent to her firm's ethics board. Revenge isn't a dish. It's a slow poison. And I just uncorked the bottle. The fallout from that dinner was seismic. The kind that registers on family Richter scales. By Black Friday, Mom had called 3 times, voice quivering like jello on a shaky table. Delilah. Honey. Is it true? About Vanessa? Dad? Radio silence. Probably nursing a scotch and his denial in the den. The aunts? Texts buzzing my phone. Prayers. Dear. From Aunt Ruth. And a passive-aggressive family sticks together. Delilah from Cousin Marlene. But Vanessa? She went dark. No calls.
No emails.
Just a single DM at 2 a.m. You bitch. You'll regret this. Regret? Honey. Regret was my middle name for a decade. I woke up in my apartment to the scent of stale coffee and rain-slicked streets. The Charles River fog rolling in like a bad omen. My place was a third-floor walk-up in Inman Square. Walls plastered with half-finished posters for bands I'd never tour with vintage vibes. Bowie eyes staring down from the chaos. I brewed a pot strong as my resolve, booted up my Mac, and pulled up the file I'd been nursing like a sick pet. Vanessa's vault. It started innocently enough. That digging. After a particularly brutal ghosting last spring, some Tinder architect who bailed when I got too intense about trust, I hit the bottle. Then the search bar. Marcus Hale, Assault BU, 2005. Nothing but alumni pages and a LinkedIn profile slick as his hairline. But then, a forum post on some defunct student rag archive. Art girl drama at Alston Bash. False alarm? My stomach flipped. False? I emailed him from a burner. Remember me? Delilah Harper. The one you called feisty. His reply? A chuckle emoji and water under the bridge.
Kid.
She was the screamer. Not you. Wild night.
She. Not me.
He'd known. All along. He'd pinned it on her. The bruises. The pleas. Vanessa had fed me a half-truth. She'd painted him as the monster. But in her version, I'd been the decoy. Marcus's words confirmed it. She'd been the one fighting. But she'd spun the lie to shield her ambitions, making me the slutty side character. Rage boiled fresh. But I played cool. Tell me more. For old times.
He bit.
Spilling in drips, how she'd clawed at him. Screamed no. But begged silence after. Offering favors for forgetting. Promising girl, he wrote. Too bad, she clawed her way up on daddy's backs. That lit the fuse. I lawyered up, not with a suit, but with public records. Massachusetts is a gold mine for the vengeful. Court dockets. Ethics filings. Even those FOIA requests for campus reports. Turns out, Vanessa hadn't stopped at me. In law school, she'd borrowed a classmate's thesis notes, plagiarized a section on tort reform, and pinned it on the TA when whispers started. The kid got fired, she graduated summa. Then, as a junior prosecutor, a plea deal gone sideways, she'd buried exculpatory evidence in a drug case to nail a quota, letting an innocent dealer rot for 5 years. The file? Sealed, but not buried deep enough for a sister with Google foo and a grudge. By summer, I'd compiled it, emails, screenshots, that damning Marcus thread. But I held back, simmering, until Thanksgiving.
Now.
Post-dinner Armageddon. I hit send on the anonymous packet to the Massachusetts Bar Association, Vanessa's lifeline.
Ethical breach inquiry? Prosecutor V.
Harper. Attached, the plagiarism scan. The suppressed evidence memo I'd charmed out of a courthouse clerk with a fake reporter alias. And Marcus's affidavit. Notarized remotely for $50 on Upwork. Her response came via Todd's number. A voice crackling with un-Todd-like fury. What the fuck? Delilah? She's suspended pending review. You crazy cunt. I sip my coffee. Black as my soul. Tell her it's just the appetizer.
Todd.
Main course is the Globe op-ed dropping Monday. How my sister's lies built her career and broke mine. He sputtered. Hung up. Good. Let the worm turn. Monday dawned gray. The kind of Boston slush that sucks at your boots. I filed the piece under a pseudonym, A Sister's Shadow, detailing the Alston night. The cover-up. The ripple scars. My stalled career. The therapy bills. The lovers who fled my baggage. No names at first, but hint sharp as switchblades. A rising DA in Middlesex. Married to money. Mother of 2. By noon, it was viral in local feeds. Retweets from Me Too accounts and true crime pods. Vanessa's firm issued a no comment, but her Wellesley neighbors? The group chats lit up. Is that Van Harper? With the pool parties? She showed up that afternoon, unannounced, pounding on my door like it owed her rent. I buzzed her up, heart hammering not from fear but anticipation. She burst in, cashmere traded for a rumpled trench, hair frizzing like her composure. Delilah.
Please.
The bar's investigating. It's bullshit. They'll clear me, but the press? Todd's threatening divorce. The kids. They're asking why mommy's crying. Her eyes, red-rimmed, searched mine for the old loyalty. We can fix this. Like sisters.
I'll
confess.
To you? To Mom.
Therapy. Whatever. Just pull the story. Drop the tip. I cross my arms, leaning against my drafting table. The half-sketched revenge poster mocking us both, a woman with a noose unraveling into wings. Confess?
Now?
After I carried your corpse for 10 years? Marcus laughed.
Fun.
Said you were the fighter.
Not me.
And that evidence you buried? Some kid still in Walpole because of it. She flinched, sinking onto my thrift store couch. I was young. Ambitious.
Scared.
You think I don't hate myself? But you're destroying us. All of us. Us. I spat. There is no us. You made me the villain in your hero arc. Now watch mine. She lunged, grabbing my wrist, not violent, but desperate, nails biting. What do you want?
Money?
The house. Tell me. I wrenched free. The contact electric with old wounds. I want you to feel it. The isolation. The whispers. The way opportunity slips because one night defined you. Welcome to my world, sis. She left in tears, doors slamming like a guillotine. That night, I got the call from Mom. Delilah,
come home.
Your father's had a stroke. A coincidence? Or the stress I'd unleashed? Guilt gnawed. But so did justice. As I packed a bag, rain lashing the windows, I wondered if revenge was the cure or just another lie we tell ourselves. Dad's stroke hit like a nor'easter, sudden, merciless, flooding the colonial with beeps and bleach smells. Massachusetts General. Top floor neuro ward. The one with views of the harbor that mocked our fraying family. I arrived at dawn. Scrubs-clad nurses, buzzing like hornets. Mom sat vigil in the vinyl chair, her wig askew, clutching Dad's hand like it was the last lifeboat. "Delilah," she whispered, eyes hollow. He was yelling about the article. Collapsed right there in the kitchen. Guilt? A sledgehammer to the chest. But under it, a whisper, Vanessa's doing. Her empire. Crumbling on us all. Vanessa was there too. In the waiting room. Todd exiled to the kids. Her face a mask of composed grief, prosecutor poise cracking at the edges. She stood when I entered. Arms open like we were reconciling.
Dell.
Thank God. He's stable, Clot. They say. But the stress. Her voice trailed. Accusation veiled as concern. I sidestepped the hug, dropping my bag by the vending machine. Stress from what? Exactly? Your lies hitting the light. Or me finally talking? She deflated, glancing at the ants huddled by the coffee station. Not here.
Please.
For Dad. We retreated to the chapel, ironic. That sterile hush with its faux-stained glass. She paced the aisle, heels clicking like accusations. I called Marcus. He's recanting, says you coerced him. The bar's dropping it. Clever bitch. Of course, she'd flip the script, lawyer her way out. And, the kid in prison? You gonna recant that too? She stopped, eyes flashing. That was a judgment call.
He was guilty of something.
Everyone is. Cold. Calculated. The Vanessa I'd glimpsed in Alston. Post-trauma armor forged in ambition's fire. But here's the twist that polarized even me. Dad woke lucid. His first words not what happened, but Delilah. Protect your sister. From his bed. Monitors beeping. He gripped my hand. Voice a rasp. Family first. Always said that. Whatever this is. Bury it. Mom nodded. Tears carving tracks. Vanessa hovered in the door. Vindicated. And in that moment, staring at his ashen face, the man who taught me to fish on the Charles, to fight fair, I cracked. Not fully, but enough. Okay. Dad, I murmured. For you. The truce was fragile as eggshell, brokered over hospital jello. I'd pull the op-ed follow-up, delete the vault files. She'd go public therapy. A vague past mistake in a press release. Donate to RANN. No charges, no deeper digs. Sisters? Again. But as we drove home in convoy, her BMW tailing my rust bucket Civic, doubt gnawed. Was this mercy? Or just delaying the blade? Weeks blurred into a tense détente. Dad rehabbed at home. Physical therapy turning the living room into an obstacle course of walkers and resistance bands. Mom fluttered, force-feeding us pureed turkey like penance. Vanessa played the dutiful daughter, meal trains from Whole Foods. Story time for the twins in Dad's den.
Me?
I commuted from Cambridge, sketching logos for a craft beer startup by day. By night scrolling her socials like a stalker ex. Her posts? Curated perfection. Family strong with filtered shots of us around the tree. Her arms slung over my shoulder. Caption: grateful for second chances. But secrets? They ooze like sap from a cut tree. Christmas Eve. After eggnog had loosened tongues, Aunt Ruth cornered me by the garlanded piano. Delilah. That article. I knew Vanessa in college. She wasn't all shine. There was a boy, before Marcus. Something with pills. Pills? My radar pinged. Later. Buzzed on spiked cider. I cornered Vanessa in the powder room. What boy? What pills? Her reflection paled in the mirror. Ancient history.
Oxy.
Freshman stress. He OD'd.
I
gave him the script. Borrowed from Mom's stash after her back surgery. Borrowed. Like my life. You let him die. She whirled. Eyes wild. It was an accident. He was depressed. Pressuring me for more. I said no, eventually. But if I'd fessed up. Manslaughter. At minimum.
covered up.
Like everything. Another body on your ledger.
Fun.
How many before you stop? She grabbed my arms. Mirror fogging with our breaths. As many as it takes to win. That's the game.
Del.
You think your little vault makes you judge? You're just as complicit, lying for me all those years. The words landed like hooks. Complicit. Was I? The protector turned enabler? We stared. Twins in the glass. Curls and straight. Wild and controlled. Then, a knock, Mom. Caroling us to midnight mass. Truce held. But the fault line widened. New Year's brought the pivot.
Dad.
Stronger on his cane. Called a family summit in the den, fire crackling. Brandy snifters steaming. Enough poison, he growled, eyes fierce under bushy brows. Vanessa. You own your past. Delilah. You let it go. Or I cut you both from the will. Laughter? No. A chill. Dad's will. The house. The nest egg from his plumbing empire was our unspoken anchor. Vanessa nodded. Tears theatrical.
I
swallowed the retort. Signed the invisible pact. But revenge? It's a virus. Mutates. In February, during a brutal nor'easter that blanketed Boston in 2 feet of wrath, I got the email. Anonymous sender. Ask your sister about the safe deposit box. Keys in her desk. Attached, a grainy photo of Vanessa at a bank in Back Bay. Date stamped 2010. Heart pounding. I waited out the storm, then drove to Wellesley under melting skies. Her McMansion loomed, icicles like daggers. Todd was at work. Kids at school, she answered in yoga pants. Mid-spin class Zoom.
Del.
What? I pushed past. Straight to her office, a shrine to ambition. Diplomas gleaming. Rifled the desk till the key glinted. Small and silver. She lunged. Stop. But I was out the door. Civic peeling gravel. The bank teller. A bored millennial. Didn't blink at my forged POA pro tip. Templates abound online. Box 472. Stacks of cash. 20 thou. Banded. Passports and false names. And a thumb drive. I plugged it into my laptop that night. Storm sirens wailing encore. Files upon files. Wire transfers to offshore accounts. Labeled consulting fees. Client X. Emails with judges. Quid pro quos for lenient sentences. And the kicker. A video. Timestamped 2015. Vanessa in a hotel room with a balding pole, Senator Hale. Marcus's uncle, discussing favorable testimony in exchange for campaign dirt. Blackmail gold. She'd been playing three-dimensional chess while I doodled checkers. The safe deposit? Her slush fund. Payoffs from defending white-collar scumbags on the side. Ironic. For a prosecutor. One transfer, $50,000 to MH, hush money. Marcus. She'd bought his silence long ago. Then mine with sisterly guilt. Fury crested. White hot. But Dad's words echoed. Family first. I copied the drive. Stashed the original in my safety deposit. Poetic. Confronted her at a neutral Starbucks in Newton. Laptops open like dueling pistols. Explain. Her face cycled shock. Denial. Then that sly flip. Insurance.
Del.
Against guys like Marcus. You think I'd risk everything without a net?
Lies.
Layered like tiramisu. Or leverage. For when the game turns. We sat there. Steam rising from lattes. The betrayal a chasm. Give it back, she hissed. Or Dad's right, we're done. I slid the key across. Keep your net. But remember, nets tangle. As I left, her eyes promised war. Spring thawed the streets, but our ice age deepened. Spring in Boston is a tease. Crocuses pushing through slush. Red Sox optimism blooming before the inevitable slump. For me, it was rebirth laced with rot.
Dad graduated to outpatient PT.
Hobbling the neighborhood like a defiant penguin. Mom shadowing with thermos of bone broth. Vanessa and I, surface sisters, joint brunches at Legal Seafoods. Her treating to lobster rolls while probing my dating life. Seen anyone post-truce? Me deflecting with sketches of her kids as superheroes. But undercurrents swirled, dark as the Mystic River. The thumb drive burned a hole in my cloud storage, a digital Pandora's box I cracked nightly. More dives revealed her web. Client X was a pharma exec. Bribes for dropped opioid probes, ironic. Given her pill past.
Senator Hale?
Groomed for a run at governor. Her discreet counsel, ensuring his skeletons stayed buried. And me, a loose thread. One file. Harper. D. Potential liability.
Neutralizze via emotional leverage.
Notes. Thanksgiving trigger successful. Monitor for relapse. She'd played me. Even in apology. That confession over Jell-O? Staged. To gauge my breaking point. Rage evolved, no longer blind, but surgical. I consulted a pro, Elena. A PI from a Somerville dive bar. Ex-cop with a smoker's rasp and rates that fit my freelance flux. Revenge porn for the soul, she quipped. Puffing a Marlboro Red. $50 an hour. She tailed Vanessa. Yoga classes masking meets with a fixer in the North End. Envelopes exchanged over espresso. She's dirty.
Kid.
But smart dirty. Needs a push. The push? An anonymous leak to the Boston Herald, not the full drive, but teasers, redacted emails hinting at DA corruption. By May. Headline screamed, Middlesex prosecutor under scrutiny for ethics lapses. No names yet. But her office froze promotions. Colleagues whispering in bullpens. Vanessa called. Voice venom. This you? Petty bitch. I feigned innocence. Karma's got bad aim. Cease. But inside,
Glee.
Twisted as knotted yarn. Summer sweltered. Humidity thick as unspoken threats. Dad's birthday bash at the Cape. Rented cottage on the vineyard. Waves crashing like applause. We arrived in uneasy caravan. Vanessa's BMW stuffed with artisanal cheeses. My Civic with a cooler of IPAs. The grill smoked. Burgers sizzling. Kids building sandcastles while Todd nursed a seltzer. Eyes darting like he sensed the storm. Mom, in a sun hat hiding her bald spots, raised a toast to health. To family, we clinked. But Vanessa's gaze skewered me over the rim. Post-dinner, as dusk painted the bay violet, she cornered me on the deck. Cicadas droning back up. I know it's you.
Del.
The leaks. Stop. Or I go nuclear. Nuclear? Her flip, from victim to aggressor. Always. Like what? Frame me for your bribes? She laughed. Low and lethal. Better. Remember Dad's will? I had it updated last month. You get the attic crap, I get the house. Push me. And Mom hears how you stressed him into the stroke. Texts. Witnesses. The works. Blackmail. Her love language. But I'd anticipated. Elena's latest. Photos of Vanessa's North End drop. Timestamped during my innocent brunch. I pulled out my phone. Slideshow ready. Cute. But your fixer sloppy. Cops love Italian accents on wiretaps. Her bluff called. She crumpled, leaning on the rail.
Why? Del?
We could have shared. The net's big enough. Shared. Salt air stung my eyes. You hoarded the air while I drowned. That kid in prison? His name's Jamal. Served 7 for your judgment call. Has a daughter now. Same age as your brats. She paled. The ocean's roar filling the silence. For a flicker. Regret real.
Raw. I
can help him. Pardon. Whatever. Just end this. The plea hung. Polarizing. Mercy or manipulation. I pocketed the phone. Prove it. Tomorrow. File the motion. Or the drive goes to the U.S. Attorney. She agreed. Eyes promising payback. That night, insomnia gripped me.
Guaps laling no comfort.
Was I the villain now? Wielding her sins like a club? Dad shuffled out at 3 a.m., robe flapping, settling beside me with a sigh. Can't sleep either? His voice, gravelly from cigars long quit. I confessed fragments, the feud, the files. He nodded. Slow. Vanessa's always been a climber. Like her mother. Mom, climber? He chuckled dark. Before you girls. She covered for me, a bad investment. Cooked books. Nearly lost everything. Sisters bury deep.
Del.
But unburying? It buries you. Dawn broke bloody. The cape mist burning off. Vanessa filed the motion by noon. Exculpatory evidence unearthed. Jamal's appeal fast-tracked. Press ate it up. DA's redemption arc. But her eyes at brunch? Dead reckoning. A week later, Elena called. Heads up.
Kid.
Your sister's lawyered up, suing you for defamation. Subpoenas incoming. The flip again. Prosecutor turned plaintiff. War declared.
Fall crispified.
Leaves carpeting the commons like confetti for catastrophe. Dad's full recovery coincided with my court date, small claims. But a spectacle. Vanessa's suit. Emotional distress. Reputational harm. Seeking $100K. Her attorney. A shark from her firm. Paraded evidence, my op-ed drafts. Vault remnants I'd inadvertently left in a shared drive. MS. Harper seeks closure, he droned. Jury of working stiffs nodding. My pro bono public defender, scrappy ACLU type, countered with truth as shield, public figure. Opinion piece.
No malice.
But the real bomb? Vanessa on the stand. Tear-streaked. Spinning the Alston tale anew. Delilah misunderstood. It was mutual regret, not assault. She projected her anger onto me. Gasps rippled. The courtroom. Wood-paneled echo of justice.
Tilted. Me?
I took the stand, voice steady as a blues riff. She made me lie. Carried her trauma as mine. And the files? Hers. Not fiction. Cross-exam. Her lawyer pounced. Obsessive. Aren't you? Amos. Harper? Stalking your sister's success. The jury split. Eyes accusatory. Deliberation dragged 2 days. Boston stewing in Indian summer. Verdict. No award to Vanessa. But a slap. I owed court costs. A nuisance filing fee.
Dear.
Bloody. She cornered me outside. Rain spitting from low clouds.
See?
We're even. But her smile?
Serpentine.
Or are we? As she sauntered to her Escalade. I felt the twist uncoiling, the drive. Still mine. A scorpion in my pocket. November chilled the bones. Thanksgiving looming like a guillotine rematch. Mom insisted. One more try. Girls. For me. The colonial glowed with forced festivity. Turkey brining. Pies cooling on the sill. Dad. Cane-free. Manned the grill out back. Smoke signals of normalcy. Vanessa arrived fashionably late. Todd in tow with a forced grin. Kids clutching iPads like shields.
Me?
Early. Helping Mom stuff the bird. Our hands floured. Silence heavy as dough. Dinner unfolded scripted. Grace.
Passes of sides.
Small talk about blizzards and Black Friday deals. Vanessa, across from me, speared her ham with precision strikes. Pass the yams. Del? Polite poison. I did. Our fingers brushing, electric. Unresolved. Then, the hook. Dad raised his glass mid-meal. To lessons learned. And to Delilah for bringing truth to our table. The room froze. Vanessa's fork clattered. Dad, he waved her off. Read the will this morning.
Fun.
Changes. House to both girls.
Joint.
No more games. Her face? A mask-cracking shock. Then fury veiled as hurt. You think I'm the monster? Mom teared up. We know.
Honey.
About the boy. The pills. Delilah told us. We love you. But. Enough. The table erupted. Ants clucking. Todd muttering Jesus. Kids wide-eyed. Vanessa bolted. Chair scraping like nails on chalkboard. Fleeing to the den. I followed. The old floorboards creaking our history. She huddled by the fireplace. Logs unlit. Shoulders shaking. You poisoned them against me. Not crying, seething. I knelt. Uninvited. Truth's not poison.
Fun.
It's antidote. She whirled. Eyes ablaze. Antidote? You're the disease. Always the victim. Stealing my light. Flip again, sister to serpent. I built this. The career. The family for us. Mom's treatments. My bonuses paid the copays you couldn't. A gut punch. Mom's cancer. Vanessa's shadow funding. I'd freelance logos for her firm's holiday cards. Oblivious. Guilt warred with wrath. Built on lies. Jamal's free now. Thanks to you, or your motion.
But the bribes?
The senator? That's not building. That's burning. She laughed.
Hollow.
And you'd expose it? Ruin Dad's legacy. Mom's peace? For what? Vindication. The room shrank. Fireless chill. Give me the drive.
Del.
Last chance. Or I tell them everything. How you hacked my accounts. Stalked Marcus. Felonies.
Sis.
Prison chic for the artist. The threat landed. Polarizing my soul. Hand it over. Betray Jamal. The buried boy. The fractures I'd unearthed. Or swing. Damn the fallout. As rain lashed the panes. Thunder rumbling like applause. I pulled the drive from my pocket, yes. I'd carried it. Talisman of reckoning. Held it out. Take it. Her eyes lit. Greedy. She snatched, pocketing it with triumph. Smart girl. But as she turned for the door, I added, soft as sin, copies exist. In clouds. With Elena's firm. One wrong move. Bluff. Half. I'd uploaded fragments to a dead man switch, timed email to the feds if I ghosted for 48 hours. Her back stiffened.
Bitch.
Door slammed. Engine roared. The meal resumed. Zombie-like, laughter forced. Plates cleared in hush. Mom squeezed my hand under the table. Proud of you.
Del.
Dad nodded, eyes twinkling. But victory? Ashen mouth. That night, alone in my old room, posters peeling, I scrolled dating apps, swiped right on a barista with kind eyes. No baggage asked. Dawn brought the twist. The one that shattered scales. Vanessa's text at 6 a.m. Drive's a dud, wiped clean. But mine wasn't. Check your email. Attached, my vault. Amplified screenshots of my PI payments. Labeled extortion scheme. Forged timestamps. Dr. Chat's making me the architect of her downfall. NC seat? Dad. The bar. The DA's office. Your move.
Sister.
Panic surged, but clarity followed. She'd flipped final, burning us both to ash.
Ensuring mutuelle destruction.
I called Elena. Full leak. Now. By noon. The drive, her real sins, hit the wires. ProPublica.
Globe.
Even CNN ripple. DA's secret slush fund. Blackmail and bribes expose. Her career? Incinerated. Arrest warrant by evening. Feds swarming the McMansion. But the real gut twist? Her call from lockup. Collect. Voice broken vinyl.
Del, it was always you.
The strong one.
I
Needed that.
click.
Suicide watch followed pills. Her old friend. Overdose attempt foiled by guards. Coma. Then recovery. Therapy mandated.
Me?
Cleared in the countersuit. Her forgeries crumbled under forensics. Jamal's full exoneration. A settlement in 7 figures. Dad deeded me the house outright. For the truth teller. Mom wore her wig less. Smiles real. Was it happy? Tragic? You tell me. As snow dusts the commons this December. I'm dating the barista, slow.
Trusting. Vanessa?
Out on bail. Trial pending. Writing letters from rehab. Forgive. I haven't replied. Revenge? It freed me, but chained us eternal. Sisters, blood thicker than ink. Or just better at staining. In the end, at that second Thanksgiving, her absent table lighter, I carved the bird myself. No slams, just slices. And whispered to the empty chair, still single,
Na.
Just finally whole.